dear Bagginses and Boffins.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to kind of summarize and wrap up everything we know about Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings series. It is a new year, 2022. This is the year it's coming out, and as the article says, it is coming out September 2nd. So we are less than a year away, and I'm getting excited day by day. I'm getting more excited. What about you?
Of course, very excited.
Yeah, so we haven't had a whole bunch of news come out recently, but we've had little snippets here, so we're just going to kind of piece it all together. So we know this is the 20th anniversary of the Fellowship of the Ring, the very first of Tolkien's trilogies that would basically play out the original Tolkien book trilogy. And so with that, we have a bunch of the original trilogy stuff coming out, but also Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings series, which was pushed back from August 2nd to September, so not that big of a pushback. The other things we know about the series is that they actually moved their season 2, which they haven't started yet, but they are going to be filming that in England and not in New Zealand. We covered that earlier in the channel, so that's something that is going to be interesting to see how they bridge the two seasons together. If they take place in the same area, they're going to have to make one look like the other. Otherwise, it's going to confuse people and throw them all off.
Maybe season 2 takes place in a completely different region. I don't know.
Exactly. Or it could be a lot more interior shots. So if you have a lot more stuff happening inside cities or inside dwarven caverns or something, that you can all do that in a studio. Really what you need New Zealand for is those scenic backdrops that are just breathtaking in Jackson's original trilogy. But we have coming up on the screen right now, we have the one still that was released to really hype everyone out, and I know a lot of people did a whole breakdown about what is going on in this still. One other thing we know for sure is Galadriel will be in the show. That is the only character we know for sure that will be making an appearance. We've had a lot of speculation regarding what the plot is going to be. That's scrolling up the screen just now. And really, we don't know anything. People are going to say they have a whole series plot breakdown. We don't know anything. We know that it is set before The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings original trilogy by Peter Jackson. We know that it takes place towards the end of the Second Age. It seems that's sort of what's been hinted at. So we're thinking Sauron might play a role there. We might see a Gandalf character, but none of that has been confirmed. The only one that we know for sure is Galadriel. And then the other thing we know from just Amazon's press releases is that it's going to be a show that takes us back to the era in which kingdoms were forged and rose to glory and fell to ruin. And if you've seen, I'm sure, the original trilogy and even The Hobbit, and in those the characters do encounter a lot of ruins that were great beacons of the kingdoms of old. So we're going to be seeing backstory there, and that's a little bit of a tie-in to the original trilogy. But other than that, we don't know.
They could drop some Easter eggs of, where the scene where he says, "Look, Mr. Frodo, the king, he has his crown." Maybe we can see that statue when it was intact.
Exactly, yeah. Or the old watchtower where Aragorn somehow fights off a bunch of the ringwraiths. So yeah, we can have. I think they should throw those in because that does nothing to deter the story, and it's just a nice little bit of fan Easter egg and fan service there. So I think I think that is a smart move on their parts. As we can see here on the map that the Amazon Twitter account released, the map is obviously the map we're familiar with, but it does have Numenor included on it, and we actually see a lot more to the south than most Middle Earth maps portray. And so that is potentially a hint, although it's just a map. We know nothing about where these people are going to be or what's going to be going on. Also, we don't really know who's involved. A lot of people think it's going to be something of Isildur, or maybe someone associated with Isildur, because Aragorn is the descendant of Isildur. But again, the only one we know for sure is Galadriel. So for all we know, this could be a story completely set in the elves realm or something like that. So we have no idea what's going on in terms of the true overall plot. We have some, I guess, hints, but then again, these hints are also clouded in mystery. And I'm talking, of course, about the cast, because there's been a lot of speculation whenever a new cast member gets released. We've had people thinking that this person's playing Gandalf or this person's playing Tom Bombadil. That's one that really popped up just recently on my timeline. Joseph Male playing Tom Bombadil. Now, it is confirmed he is playing a central villain known only as Oren. And people have gone into some deep rabbit holes to figure out how that might be Tom Bombadil. But it seems that he's much more going to be associated with Sauron.
If they make Tom Bombadil a villain, then the show's already over.
Yeah, there's no beating that. But also you can't be, because part of the nature of, I don't know enough. I'm not a Tom Bombadil mega fan, so I don't know enough about Tom Bombadil, but it just seems to me that his very nature, he couldn't be spurred by evil or good. He is just sort of at the whims of nature, it seems. So which would be kind of a neat little that's sort of what the White Walkers were in Game of Thrones. So maybe that is one way you could kind of throw a Tom Bombadil or even a Treebeard as a villain, is to have nature sort of being encroaching or something. But other than that, I don't really see how that works. He would be a good Tom Bombadil, no doubt about it. If you see a picture of Joseph Male, I'll throw one up here on the screen. I think he would make a fantastic Tom Bombadil. He has been in Game of Thrones as Benjen Stark, and I think it would work. I think he's got the swagger for it, but that is not what has been confirmed by the show. So whenever you see that, just click on it with a little bit of grain of salt, because I completely got duped. And that's just throwing that out there. But yeah, that's basically about all we know going into this show so far. There's been very little in terms of a plot leak. Really the only plot leaks are the ones that it seems Amazon has wanted to release, which is basically the overall setting in terms of the age, as well as showing us that one still that has a lone character city, basically standing on a field in front of what looks like an elven city or some other very celestial looking city. But yeah, that's basically all we know so far, and so that's why people are getting hyped more and more, because we have nothing. Game of Thrones, we literally had the scripts of those episodes before they aired. So for in this day and age, people not having anything, it's gonna really get people pent up for this show.
I regret to announce this is the end. I bid you all a very fond farewell.